Hello. Today is a special day. Christmas Eve in 2025. It's a time when, many of us think about gifts and what we have. This makes it a perfect moment to talk about two very different ways of thinking about our possessions. One way is called consumerism. This is the idea that buying and owning many things can bring us happiness and show our success. It's a world filled with shopping, new items, and the excitement of getting something more. It tells us that our lives can be improved by what we can purchase, from the newest phone to the most fashionable clothes. It's a loud and busy way of life. On the other side, there is a quieter idea. It's called minimalism. This way of thinking suggests that true happiness comes not from having more, but from having just enough. It's about choosing our possessions with great care. We keep only the things that are truly useful or that spark joy in our hearts. Minimalism is not about having nothing at all. It's about making space in our lives. By letting go of the things we do not need, we make room for what is truly important. This could be more time, more freedom, and more peace in our minds and our homes. These two ideas are like two strong forces pulling in opposite directions. Consumerism pulls us towards shops, advertisements, and the desire for the next new thing. It's a powerful current in our modern world, shaping our cities and our daily habits. Minimalism, however, pulls us back. It asks us to pause and look at what we already have. It encourages us to ask ourselves, does this truly make my life better? It's a gentle but firm reminder to live with intention, choosing quality over quantity and appreciating the simple beauty of a life that is not cluttered with unnecessary things. In this essay, we'll explore these two paths. We'll look at where they came from and what they mean for us today. We'll see how they appear in our everyday lives, from the way we shop to the way we decorate our homes. We'll also think about their effects on our world, our societies, and even our own feelings. Understanding both consumerism and minimalism can help us to choose a life that feels right for us. It helps us find a balance that brings not just temporary pleasure, but lasting joy and contentment in our lives. The idea of consumerism, the desire to always have more, is not as old as you might think. For much of human history, most people owned very few things. They had what they needed to survive: simple clothes, basic tools, and a place to live. The idea of shopping for pleasure or to show off one's wealth was only for a very small number of very rich people, like kings and queens. For everyone else, life was about making, mending, and using things for as long as possible. There was no culture of disposability. Every object was valuable because it was difficult and expensive to make or replace. Everything began to change with something called the Industrial Revolution, which started in Great Britain in the 18th century. Factories were built, and for the first time, goods could be made quickly and cheaply by machines instead of slowly by hand. Suddenly, there were more things available to buy than ever before. Things like textiles, pottery, and furniture became more accessible to ordinary people. This was the first small step towards the world of shopping we know today. People started to see that owning nice things could be a way to improve their daily lives and show their social standing. The real push for consumerism, however, came in the 20th century, especially after the Second World War. Factories that had been making things for the war now needed to make things for people to buy at home. This is when advertising became a very powerful force. Advertisements on the radio, in magazines, and later on television started to tell people that they needed new products to be happy, successful, or modern. They created a sense of desire for things people hadn't even known they wanted. The idea of the American dream, a life of comfort and material success, was tied closely to owning a house, a car, and all the latest appliances. This wave of consumer culture spread from America and Europe to the rest of the world. The invention of the credit card made it even easier for people to buy things now and pay for them later, encouraging even more spending. Fast fashion, fast food, and constantly updated electronics all became normal parts of life. The economy became dependent on people constantly buying more. Consumerism was no longer just about getting what you need. It became a hobby, a form of entertainment, and a central part of how our modern society works. It became the default way of living for many millions of people around the globe. Minimalism may seem like a new trend, popularized by blogs and books in recent years, but its core ideas are very old. The philosophy of living simply and focusing on what is truly important can be found in many ancient cultures and religions. For example, Buddhist monks have, for centuries, lived with very few possessions. They believe that attachment to material things is a source of suffering. By letting go of these attachments, they aim to find inner peace and enlightenment. Their simple robes and empty rooms are not about poverty, but about a richness of spirit that comes from having an uncluttered mind and life. Similarly, many great thinkers and artists throughout history have embraced a simple life. The ancient Greek philosophers like Diogenes, who famously lived in a barrel, questioned the value of wealth and possessions. They argued that a virtuous life and the pursuit of knowledge were far more important than owning many things. In America, writers like Henry David Thoreau in the 19th century chose to live a simple life in a small cabin by a pond. He wrote about his experience, encouraging people to simplify and to escape the traps of a society that was becoming more focused on money and material goods. The word minimalism itself first became well known in the world of art and design in the 1960s. Minimalist art used simple shapes, clean lines, and a limited number of colors. It was a reaction against the complex and emotional art that came before it. The artists wanted to remove everything that was not essential, leaving only the pure form. This idea soon moved into architecture and interior design. Think of Japanese traditional homes with their clean spaces, sliding paper screens, and very little furniture. This aesthetic is not about emptiness, but about creating a calm and peaceful environment where every object has a purpose and a place. In the 21st century, minimalism has found a new and powerful voice. It has become a response to the stress and excess of our consumer-driven world. People feel overwhelmed by their clutter, their debt, and the constant pressure to have more. For them, minimalism is a practical tool for taking back control. It's about consciously choosing to own less, to live more intentionally, and to focus on experiences rather than possessions. It's the rediscovery of an old wisdom, updated for our modern times, reminding us that a happy life is not measured by how much we own, but by the joy we find in it. At its heart, consumerism is built on a very simple and powerful belief. Buying and owning things brings happiness. This ideology suggests that our identity and our worth can be expressed through our possessions. The car we drive, the clothes we wear, and the phone we use are not just objects. They're statements about who we are, or who we want to be. Consumerism promotes the idea of constant progress and improvement through purchasing. There's always a new model, a better version, a more fashionable style. This creates a cycle of desire, purchase, and temporary satisfaction, which is then quickly replaced by the desire for something else new. This way of thinking is deeply connected to the economy. Consumerism believes that a healthy society is one where people are always spending money. This spending creates jobs in manufacturing, retail, advertising, and many other industries. From this perspective, saving too much or buying too little is seen as bad for economic growth. The system encourages us to see ourselves primarily as consumers. Our role is to consume goods and services, and this consumption is what keeps the entire economic engine running smoothly. It frames shopping not just as a personal choice, but as a civic duty that helps everyone. Minimalism, on the other hand, proposes a radically different set of beliefs. It argues that true lasting happiness cannot be bought in a shop. Instead, it comes from within, and from our relationships, experiences, and personal growth. Minimalism suggests that an overabundance of possessions can actually be a source of stress and unhappiness. Our things require our time, our money, and our mental energy to buy, organize, clean, and maintain. By owning too much, we can become trapped by our belongings, with less freedom to do the things that truly matter to us. The core idea is that less is more. Less stuff equals more time, more money, and more freedom. The ideology of minimalism is not about deprivation or living without comfort. It's about intentionality. It asks us to be mindful and deliberate about what we allow into our lives. The central question for a minimalist is not, how much can I have, but what do I truly need to live a meaningful and joyful life? This means every object in one's home should have a clear purpose, or bring genuine joy. By clearing away the physical clutter, minimalists believe we can also clear away the mental clutter. This creates space for creativity, relaxation, and a deeper connection with ourselves and the people we love. It's a shift from a life of passive consumption to a life of active and conscious creation. The conflict between consumerism and minimalism plays out in our lives every single day. Imagine you are walking down a high street, The shop windows are filled with beautiful displays of new clothes, shiny gadgets, and attractive homeware. Huge posters announce 50% off and buy one, get one free. These are the loud, clear voices of consumerism. They're designed to catch your eye, create a sense of urgency, and persuade you that you need something you hadn't thought about just a moment before. Advertising on your phone and television reinforces this message, showing you images of happy, successful people using these products. The pressure to buy is, honestly, constant and powerful. Now imagine the minimalist response in the same situation. As you walk past those shops, the voice of minimalism in your head asks a different set of questions. Instead of, do I want this? It asks, do I need this? Do I have a place for it? Will it add real value to my life, or will it just become more clutter? Will caring for this item take time away from my family, my hobbies, or my rest? This internal conversation is a direct challenge to the impulsive desires that consumerism tries to create. It's a conscious act of pausing and reflecting, rather than immediately reacting to the external pressure to spend. This clash is also very clear in our homes. A home guided by consumerism might be filled with collections of objects, gadgets used only once, and wardrobes overflowing with clothes that are rarely worn. There might be a feeling of being crowded, and it can be difficult to find things or keep the space tidy. The belief is that having these things on hand offers choice and comfort. The minimalist home, in contrast, would feel more open and spacious. Every item has its own designated place. The surfaces are clear, and the decoration is simple and intentional. The belief here is that a calm and orderly environment helps to create a calm and orderly mind. The conflict even extends to how we spend our free time and our money. Consumerism encourages us to see shopping as a leisure activity, a way to spend a Saturday afternoon. It promotes spending money on material goods as the primary way to treat ourselves or celebrate an occasion. Minimalism offers an alternative. It suggests spending that same time and money on experiences instead of things. For example, instead of buying a new television, one might save that money for a holiday. Instead of spending an afternoon at the shopping center, one might go for a long walk in nature, visit a museum, or learn a new skill. It's a fundamental choice between acquiring objects and acquiring memories. Consumerism is everywhere we look in our modern society. It is, honestly, the water we swim in. One of the most obvious examples is fast fashion. This is the industry that produces new styles of clothing incredibly quickly and cheaply. Shops get new deliveries every week, encouraging people to constantly update their wardrobes to keep up with the latest trends. The clothes are often not made to last, so they are worn a few times and then thrown away. This creates a powerful cycle of buying and discarding. The low prices make it easy to buy on impulse, filling our closets with items we do not truly love or need, simply because they were a bargain. Another powerful example of consumerism is the way we buy technology. Think about smartphones. A new model is released by major companies almost every year, with slightly better cameras or faster processors. Advertisements work very hard to convince us that our current phone, which may be only a year or two old and works perfectly well, is now outdated and needs to be replaced. This culture of constant upgrades extends to laptops, televisions, and kitchen appliances. We are encouraged to desire the newest version. Not because our old one is broken, but simply because a newer one exists. This drives enormous sales and profits for tech companies. Minimalism, while quieter, also has visible examples in society. One growing movement is the tiny house movement. People are choosing to downsize their lives dramatically by building and living in very small homes, often less than 40 square meters. Living in such a small space forces a person to own only the absolute essentials. It is a very direct rejection of the consumerist idea that a large house filled with possessions is the key to a good life. Owners of tiny houses often speak of the financial freedom and the simpler, more mobile lifestyle that this choice gives them. They have less to clean, less to maintain, and more money for travel and other experiences. We can also see minimalism in changing consumer habits. There is a growing interest in capsule wardrobes, where a person owns only a small number of high-quality, versatile clothing items that can all be mixed and matched. This is the opposite of fast fashion. Instead of buying lots of cheap clothes, the focus is on investing in a few timeless pieces that are loved and will last for years. Similarly, many people are now embracing a buy-it-for-life mentality, choosing to spend more money on a well-made product, like a durable cooking pot or a sturdy pair of boots. with the intention of using it for decades rather than replacing it every few years. This represents a shift in values from quantity to quality and longevity. The global impact of consumerism is enormous and complex. On one hand, it has been a powerful engine for economic growth around the world. The constant demand for new products creates millions of jobs in factories, transportation, marketing, and retail. For many developing countries, manufacturing goods for consumers in wealthier nations has been a key way to grow their economies and lift people out of poverty. This global system of production and consumption has connected the world and raised the material standard of living for a vast number of people. Without consumer demand, many modern economies would simply collapse. However, this system has a significant human and environmental cost. The pressure to produce goods cheaply leads to poor working conditions and low wages for many factory workers, often in poorer countries. The relentless cycle of consumption also places a huge strain on the planet's resources. We use vast amounts of water, energy, and raw materials to make things that are often used for only a short time before being thrown away. This creates mountains of waste, pollutes our oceans with plastic, and contributes significantly to climate change. The consumerist model of endless growth on a finite planet is, in the long run, unsustainable. Minimalism, as a response, also has a global impact, though on a smaller scale. If many people adopt a minimalist lifestyle, it would mean a significant reduction in consumption. This would be very good for the environment. Less demand would mean less manufacturing, which would lead to less pollution, less resource extraction, and less waste. It could help us move towards a more sustainable way of living that respects the limits of our planet. On a personal level, it can reduce financial stress and debt, giving people more control over their lives and improving their mental well-being by reducing the pressures of modern life. The potential negative impact of widespread minimalism would be on the economy as we know it. If everyone suddenly stopped buying things they did not need, it could lead to a severe economic downturn. Many companies would go out of business, and millions of people could lose their jobs. This is the central conflict. Our current economic system relies on the very consumption that minimalism questions. Therefore, a global shift towards minimalism would need to be accompanied by a fundamental rethinking of our economic models. We would need to find new ways to create value and provide livelihoods that are not based on the endless production and consumption of material goods. Like all big ideas, both consumerism and minimalism have their own advantages and disadvantages. Let's start by looking at the good side of consumerism. One of its main benefits is that it drives innovation and choice. Companies are always competing to create better, more useful, or more interesting products to attract customers. This competition has given us incredible technological advancements, from life-saving medical devices to the smartphones that connect us with the world. It also provides us with a vast array of choices in almost everything we buy, allowing us to express our individual tastes and preferences. For many, shopping can be a genuinely enjoyable and creative activity. However, consumerism has a significant dark side. It can create a constant feeling of dissatisfaction, because there is always something new to want. The happiness we get from a new purchase is often short-lived. This can lead to a cycle of debt as people spend money they don't have to keep up with trends. It also promotes a very materialistic value system, where people are judged by what they own rather than who they are. This can damage our relationships and our sense of community. The environmental damage caused by overconsumption is perhaps its greatest disadvantage, threatening the long-term health of our planet for future generations. Now let's consider the advantages of minimalism. The most powerful benefit is the sense of freedom it can bring. By owning less, people often find they have more time and money for the things that truly matter to them, like relationships, hobbies, and travel. It can lead to a significant reduction in stress, as a tidy and organized home is a calmer place to be. Minimalism encourages a more mindful and intentional way of living, which can improve mental health and overall well-being. It is also a much more environmentally sustainable lifestyle, as it involves consuming less and creating less waste, which is a clear and positive contribution to the health of the planet. Of course, minimalism also has potential disadvantages. For some, it can feel restrictive and joyless, especially if it is taken to an extreme. It can be difficult to practice in a family with children, who naturally accumulate toys and other possessions. There is also a risk that minimalism itself can become just another consumer trend, with people feeling pressure to have the right kind of minimalist aesthetic, buying expensive designer minimalist items. If applied without thought, it could also harm local businesses and the economy if spending drops too suddenly. Finding a personal and joyful balance is key, rather than following strict and rigid rules that do not fit one's life. We have traveled through two very different worlds, the busy, full world of consumerism and the quiet, intentional world of minimalism. We have seen that consumerism, born from industrial progress, promises happiness through acquiring more. It has built our modern economies and given us incredible choice and innovation. Yet it can also leave us feeling unfulfilled, in debt, and can cause great harm to our planet. It is a path of outward expansion, always reaching for the next new thing, sometimes without asking if we truly need it, or if it will bring us lasting contentment. On the other path, we found minimalism. Its roots are ancient, found in wisdom that teaches the value of a simple, uncluttered life. It promises freedom, peace, and more time for what truly matters by asking us to let go of the excess. It is a path of inward focus, asking us to look carefully at our lives and our homes, and to keep only what is useful or sparks joy. Yet, taken to an extreme, it could feel limiting, and a widespread sudden shift could destabilize the economies we all depend on. It challenges the very foundations of our current way of life. The question, then, is not about which side wins this global tug-of-war. For most of us, the answer is not to choose one extreme over the other. It is not about throwing everything away, nor is it about buying everything we see. The real opportunity is to find a thoughtful balance between the two. We can learn from minimalism to be more conscious and intentional in our choices. We can ask ourselves the important questions before we buy something. Do I truly need this? Will it spark joy in my life? This simple act of pausing can change our relationship with our possessions. Ultimately, the goal is to create a life that feels right and joyful for you. This might mean embracing some aspects of minimalism to clear clutter and reduce stress, while still allowing yourself to enjoy the pleasure and beauty that certain objects can bring. It is about being the one who is in control of your things, rather than letting your things control you. By taking the best ideas from both worlds, we can build a life that is not just full of things, but full of joy, purpose, and contentment. That is a tidy and fulfilling way to live.